Good morning. Today it is Tuesday. It is about 9:40, so I don't have too much time to talk right now. I have a treatment at 10 that I have to get ready for, but I know I left off with my last video. After my one treatment, I still had a talk to go to, and then another procedure and dinner. So real quick, the talk that I went to was about grief, loss, and letting go. It was a pretty brief talk, but the speaker was very informative, and it was a pretty good talk. Again, it's kind of hard to sit in on these things because you're not really dealing with like your own personal experiences. You're just listening and gaining tools, I guess. But I realized that one of my procedures I have scheduled tomorrow is a private session with this lady. Not about the exact same topic, but it's still the same lady, and I really did like the way she presented, so I am looking forward to having some one-on-one time with her. I think it'll be good. But after that talk, then I had, I forget what the class was called, but when I got in there was all these like markers and crayons and stuff set up with papers, and I was thinking, oh crap, this is some kind of artsy thing, but which it was, but it was very interesting. I had to draw, I don't know, I had to pick the piece of paper and then draw stuff based on a question she asked me, which I can show you. There's no way I can explain what all this means, but anyway, the little picture is right here, which yes, looks very strange, and it was very strange. Anyway, it had to do with what makes me feel the safest. It was kind of like based on my life and how I feel, so the cool thing about it is I tried not to put a lot of thought into it, because I've done things like this before, and you kind of try to like beat the system and put things that you know they're going to be like, whoa, this means that, and it's all because you set it up that way. So I just try to really like blank my mind and just do it without trying to be right or like trick the therapist, which I kind of try to do all the time, but I didn't do that. So I did that, and then we discussed after I drew like what each piece meant. But then she also had other insight as to why I may have chosen that color or that shape or that placement on the piece of paper, which I obviously didn't think of when I was doing the drawing, but a lot of it had some truth to what she was saying, so it was pretty interesting. I guess how subconsciously you choose to do certain things. But the most interesting thing I gained out of that was she said something that at least one other therapist since I've been here has said to me, and I think even two before her. I don't remember for sure, but either 2 or 3 different professionals told me that connecting to others is like at the core of my being, which I found very interesting because I would never say that to describe myself. I've never thought of myself as being that way, but to have, like I said, 2 or 3 different professionals tell me that pretty much like sums up who I am. Like that's like what's almost most important to me out of everything, I think is interesting, and I'll have to kind of bounce it around in my mind a little bit more and really try to understand what that means and how true it is for me, because right now just saying it, I think that doesn't sound right, but I believe that it is, so I just have to kind of play around with it for a little bit. But I definitely thought it was interesting that a few people have told me that now, and it's not something I would label for myself, so that's pretty cool. So I did that, and that was fun. The therapist was really cool, really laid back and nice. I liked her. I felt very comfortable with her. After that, what did I do? I guess I had dinner. I had a little bit of time in between, but then I went to dinner. And dinner was interesting because I was sitting there by myself, and I saw this table of like mismatched people. And I remember on the first day for dinner you have to sign up a time slot. And I remember there was one slot that said, if you want to sit with other strangers to share your experiences, sign up here. So then basically, they seat you with other strangers so you can talk about your experience. But I'm kind of trying to just embrace like being by myself. So I was sitting there, just had started eating my food, and I saw the one lady kept looking at me, and she was in the talk that I was in earlier. So I thought maybe that was why. She was just trying to, figure out if she did know me. But then she comes over and she asked me if I wanted to join them, and at first I'm like, oh no, thanks, but I'm good or whatever. And she's like, no, come on, come join us. So she kind of grabbed my stuff and like moved it for me. So I was like, oh, okay, what the hell? So I went and sat with them, and it was fun. I still think I probably would have benefited more from sitting by myself, but they were really nice, and I thought it was really nice of her to ask me. I must have been sitting there looking lonely or something, because I'm trying not to do anything while I eat. So, I'm just kind of like sitting there, just kind of thinking and taking in the scenery and everything like that. So, I don't know, I must have looked pretty sad by myself because she kind of forced me to go sit with them, which again was fine. She made a comment about how, again, tonight we need to all sit together, but I'm hoping, which is kind of mean, but I'm like secretly hoping my time that I'm going to dinner is going to be different from when they're there. Or I'll just tell her, that I really want to get some reading done or something like that. Because I did enjoy their company, but again, one of the parts of me doing this is to learn to be by myself and just enjoy my own company. So I'm trying to completely stay away from stress, and some of the topics that they were talking about brought a little bit of stress up for me. So anyway, that was that. But yeah, dinner was good. I got back a little bit later than I probably normally would have if it was just me sitting there. I just stayed up for a little bit longer and then went to sleep. I was pretty tired. Then real quick, this morning I woke up kind of early, and I just kind of got dressed and went and ate breakfast, and I sat there for, I was at breakfast for a while. I'm just kind of trying to like slowly eat, and I'm not positive, but I'm almost positive that Dr. Oz was in the dining room. And again, I'm not like a fan of Dr. Oz, but I thought it was kind of cool. I mean, he definitely looked familiar, and I kept looking at him, but then I didn't want to, be rude, but he and some other lady were sitting directly behind me, so I was kind of trying to listen to what he was talking about, because it obviously wasn't his wife or anything like that, because they were talking about her spouse, and then it made me think that maybe he does come here regularly, and he just knew one of the ladies. But again, I'm not positive, but I think it was him. And not that it matters, but I just thought it was kind of cool that I recognized. I don't know, there was like a celebrity here. Anyway, I ate breakfast, and then I came back to my room, and now I'm getting prepared to go do my spirit flight treatment, which they actually left me something in my little thing outside my door, and it's like, I don't know, several pages long that explain what this treatment's all about. But the summary of it is that he's like a shaman, the guy that does it. This is like a 2-hour treatment where, he like, it's gonna be hooting and hollering and banging drums and feathers and flutes and like all kinds of sounds while I'm like laying there. There's some acupuncture involved. There's a full body massage, and there's some other stuff. Anyway, it's a pretty involved treatment, and I don't know. I'm definitely gonna keep an open mind. It sounds pretty crazy to me, but I'm just gonna try to like really just, I don't want to say zone out because I want to be like in the moment, but just, not be thinking of like, oh, I want to be laughing, or oh my god, this is ridiculous, because obviously nobody's seeing me do this. So I'm just gonna try to be like, just very neutral and just go with it and see what happens. I don't know. I'm hoping I'll be pleasantly surprised by the end of it. He'll also do some like aligning, I think, of my spine, which is kind of cool. So there's a lot of different, aspects to this technique. He incorporates a lot of different things, and it's supposed to be very healing and, release like bad energy from you and all of that. So anyway, I'm getting ready to do that in like 10 minutes. Luckily, where I go is really close to my room. It's in one of the rooms. Which is really great because you're supposed to wear a robe, and I really don't feel like walking around property in a robe. So I just have to walk a few doors down to go to my treatment, which is awesome. So I'm doing that. I also have another talk planned later, which I don't know if I'll end up doing it. I guess it depends on how I feel after this treatment, because it does talk about how intense it is and that you might feel tired for like 3 days after the fact. Let's see. Oh, and then I have another class. It's a group thing, but it's something I paid for. So I have that at 3:30, and then at 8:30 I have a facial at the spa, which sounds amazing to me because, believe it or not, I have never had a facial before. Actually, I think I did have one, but it was like a mini treatment. It wasn't like a full-blown thing. But anyway, this is like an hour-long facial. That's how I'm ending my day. I don't even have that until like 8:30. So I was hoping that would really relax me so I could have a good night's sleep. So that's what my day is looking like. Things are still going pretty good. I keep having really weird dreams. I wake up like having nightmares and just kind of freaking out. I guess I didn't mention yesterday, but yesterday I had like a total like freak out moment in bed after I woke up, where I was basically just like bawling for 5 minutes and kind of like writhing around. I don't know. It was insane. It sounds crazy. Not something that I'd want anyone to see me go through, but that's why I'm just describing that I did it, and obviously you don't see what happened, but I wanted to be honest about it. And so I definitely had almost like a little kid throwing a fit type of thing. And it was interesting because even in that moment, I was trying to restrict myself, and I was telling myself, like, this is ridiculous, snap out of it, oh my gosh, you look embarrassing, like, this is crazy. Then I tried to tell myself, you know what, like, no one can see me, and no one's gonna know. Well, everyone knows now because I'm telling you guys, but that's okay. But it was just interesting because it was still really hard for me to just, like, fully let go and just, like, let my body do whatever it needed to do. I was still very much in my head telling myself to, like, knock it off and get my shit together, and I was still very hard on myself for kind of having that moment. So that in itself was a little bit interesting. But then this morning I woke up to some nightmares, which made me feel kind of grouchy when I got up, but I like let some natural light in and just, you know, headed off to breakfast, and now I'm feeling a lot better. Definitely excited about the treatment I'm about to get. Not even really nervous about it, just I'm excited. I just hope I get a lot out of it. But I will check back in afterwards, and hopefully I'll have some good news and some good, that it'll be a good experience for me. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.